Hey folks, I'm Spencer Williams. Welcome to Lighten Up. Today we're going to be talking about my top 10 games of 2018 that I like for different reasons. Now we're not going to be talking about the most popular games. I'll be leaving that to the other guys. But today you won't see any game on this list that I like for the same reason. So as we count down, I want to emphasize that the ranking doesn't matter. These are just my top 10 picks. Even though I give a game a number, it doesn't really matter in the end. So let's get started with my number 10. Number 10, coming at number 10, ended up being a popular game. I know I said I wasn't going to talk about popular games, but my number 10 is Gizmos from Cool Mini or Not. Now the reason why I like this game is it's fun, yes, but what it does is it makes me think of Gizmo Duck from DuckTales. I love that character. It's one of my favorite characters from the game, and so every time I play Gizmos, it brings back fond memories. So number 10, Gizmos. For number 9, this was a popular game as well. Again, going against what I said earlier, but this is Fireball Island. Now, Fireball Island was the game that people were anticipating for a long time. And what I really liked about this game was how it brought people together. There were so many people that joined in the same mentality, and they came together over the quality of the box. Everyone is in such agreement about how bad the box quality was, regardless of their differences and the differences of politics and opinions. They really rallied around this game in their hatred of the quality of the box. So number 9, Fireball Island. Number 8, coming in at number 8, you may not have heard this one. It might have slipped past you, but this is Mini Diver City. Now, this is a follow-up to Diver City, but this one is smaller. So it's the most fun you can have fighting eco-terrorism in a small box. And just for an idea of how small this box is, here's a comparison of Mini Diver City next to a normal-sized game. So you can see it's small, okay? So that's why I like it. I get all of the fun of fighting eco-terrorism in this tiny package. Number 7, coming at number 7, is Forbidden Sky. Now, I've played Forbidden Island, I've played Forbidden Desert, and you know what? Those games were really, really hard, and my win percentage on that is very, very low. So what this series really needed was another game to come along and make it even harder to beat. So I love the challenge that Forbidden Sky presents, and it just makes me want to keep trying and trying and trying and trying again, no matter how many times our team dies, gets struck by lightning, falls off a platform, we're going to try again. This game is so much more difficult than the others, and that's why I like it. That's why it's on my list. Number 6, I wanted to show you this one because I love the artwork on it. Number 6 is Cryptid. Cryptid from Osprey Games. I had it where... It was right here, and then, sorry about this.
It's next to a green box.
What?
It's next to something green.
Next to something green. I can't find Cryptid. I don't know where it is, and no matter what hints she gives me, I can't find it. But anyway, my number 6 is Cryptid. Going on to number 5 is Dead Man's Doubloons. Now, this game came out at Gen Con, and I was really interested in this one because of the high production quality on it. It is an amazing production quality. Look at those ships, the artwork. It is beautiful, and the quality is great. But the reason why I like it and the reason why it's on this list is because it completely flew under the radar. Nobody's talking about it right now. You can ask somebody about it, and they'll be like, what is that game? You're probably wondering why that's a good thing. Well, it leaves me to give it all of my attention. Nobody's going to come along and try to take it from me. No one's going to be jealous of me. No one's going to have ill feelings towards me for playing this game, and they can't. So I get to enjoy it without worrying about all that stuff, without worrying about the envy of other people. It is solely mine, my focus alone. Number 4. Number 4 comes in at, number 4 is War Chest by AEG. Now this was a really good game. There's a really high production quality. It's really fun to play as a 2-player, but then you can play it as 4-player. It's got those awesome chips, awesome quality chips that you're playing with on the board. But the reason why it's on this list is because, golly, that game is deceptively heavy. You look at that box and you think, that's not very heavy, but then you pick it up and then you almost fall over because of how heavy it is. So the great thing about this, and the reason why it's on my list, is even if you get tired of it and you get bored, or you don't even like the game after you get it, it has so many other purposes and uses because it's so heavy. You can use it as a door stop. You keep your door from closing. You can use it for exercise. Do some weights like this, or attach it to your body, and when you're doing leg lifts or whatever this is called. It's so versatile, and there are so many applications for it, and I like it. And even you can throw it at an intruder, and that would knock them down unconscious long enough for you to call the police. So, War Chest, fun game, but also several other uses because of how heavy it is. Coming in at number 3, again, another one that's probably flown under the radar. Now, this one is Blob Lobber from Steve Jackson Games. Now, it's a small package, just a deck of cards, really, and there are lots of blobs, artwork on blobs on there, and it looks good. But what I like about this game is I've lobbed blobs before, and I would consider myself a pretty good blob lobber, but I've never really had as much fun lobbing blobs as I have had playing Blob Lobber by Steve Jackson Games. You just lob those blobs over and over again. You're trying to cover up other blobs, and you get points by doing that, and everybody around the table is lobbing blobs, and you're trying to be the best blob lobber that you can be, and you're trying to beat all the other blob lobbers around the table, and I've never had so much fun lobbing blobs as I've had playing Blob Lobber from Steve Jackson Games. So that's why it's on my list at number 3. Coming in at number 2 it is a game that people have talked about, and people were actually surprised at how good this was. And this is Villainous. It showed up in Target. People didn't know what to think of it, but once they open up that box and see how good of a quality the game was and that it was fun, people are starting to really trust the games that come out of Target. So the reason why it's on my list, though, is because the villains that are included in it are nice, but they're not my favorite villains. So guaranteeing that I can look forward to spending my money on more expansions to add more villains to the game, like Cruella de Vil or Scar. I mean, you'd think those would be in the base box, but they left me wanting more and more opportunities to spend my money instead of enjoying what's in the box as it comes. So I'm so much looking forward to adding more villains to the game. And finally, number 1, coming in at number 1. Now, a reminder that these rankings don't matter. The number doesn't matter. But for this year, my number 1 of all time of 2018, again, doesn't matter, that I like for a different reason than all the other games, is Arkham Horror, the 3rd edition. Now, the reason why this game is on my list is I really like the Lovecraftian theme. Some of my favorite games deal with Cthulhu and the Cthulhu mythos, but what's really been troubling me is the lack of the number of games in this hobby that deal with that theme. They're just a handful of Lovecraftian games, and Arkham Horror 3rd edition is the 3rd edition of Arkham Horror, but you've got that and maybe 2 or 3 others, and my quench for Lovecraftian themed games has not been satisfied. There's just not enough. So I appreciate the effort of adding Arkham Horror, the 3rd edition, marketplace, so that I can continue to add games to my collection that involve a theme that isn't overdone. So thank you, Fantasy Flight, for giving us another game in the Arkham universe. It is muchly appreciated. So those are my top 10 games of 2018 that I like for different reasons. What are yours? Tell me in the comments below. Until next time, I'm Spencer Williams, and you've been watching my top 10 games of 2018 that I like for different reasons on Lighten Up.